Now, I was very honest when I was saying that out of all the places that we've been to around Australia in the last 10 months, this is the one where on the first night we rocked up and we were like, yep, this is it. This is literally the best part of Australia. And then, Hey, good morning, how are ya? This is the morning walk, thanks for joining me. And after 9-10 months traveling around Australia, we finally found it, right here. This is, I reckon, the most beautiful part of Australia. Although, there is a catch. I'll tell you about the catch in just a moment. But let's go for a walk and have a chat. I'll tell you all about where we are and what's going on. Thanks for joining me, let's go. We're in the Cape Range National Park, which I reckon is a pretty good place for a morning walk. Unless you wanted to go for a morning snorkel, that would be even better. And we'll do that later on. The Cape Range is on the Ningaloo Reef. When you look at the map of Australia, right up in the northwest, you'll see a town called Exmouth. And at the end of that peninsula, where Exmouth is, if you go down the western side of the Cape, that is Cape Range National Park, and that's where we are. And I must say, it is utterly, utterly breathtaking. Everywhere you look, you just have these amazing turquoise waters. And once you step off the beach and you start going snorkeling, you've just got, I don't know, schools of fish that come out of nowhere. Huge fish, little fish, beautiful stingrays, dolphins, turtles, and all of that. It's like literally right there. Not to mention, the water's warm like a bath. Outside is warm, it's like 34 degrees during the day. It's just an amazing part of the world. People would literally pay tens of thousands of dollars to fly somewhere else in the world to have this experience. And yet we've got it right here in Australia. And hardly anybody knows about it. It's amazing. What makes the Cape Range National Park so famous is the Ningaloo Reef. Stretches 270 kilometres from the tip of the point all the way up there, Vlamin Point, where you've got a lighthouse, all the way about 270 k's that direction, beyond Coral Bay and all the way down. And essentially it's, some places a single reef, sometimes a double reef, you know, inner reef and outer reef. This beautiful, they call it cool water coral because it's not strictly tropical here, cool water coral. The colours are still absolutely beautiful, so much marine life. And now it's all protected, which is fantastic. But here's something that I didn't know about Ningaloo, which I found absolutely extraordinary. This whole area is all limestone. And so historically, you know, over the millions of years, the range in the background there at some points was underwater. And all this rock here was underwater. And have a look at this. Like, you can actually see the ancient corals just right here in the rock shelf. It's amazing. So this was all underwater at some point, of course, and eventually these corals got buried, covered over, and here it is right in front of you. Cape Range National Park is pretty cool because you can come down and you can literally camp right down here next to the water. Just lazily get yourself out of bed and walk down to the water and have a swim in the mornings. And look at this water. It's like 500 species of fish here, 300 species of coral. So most people have heard of Ningaloo because you can come and dive with whale sharks, and these things grow up to like 18 metres, though somewhere between 4 and 12 metres is more common, but 18 metres. And it literally is what it sounds like. It's a shark, but it's the size of a fucking whale. They're filter feeders, so they don't actually you or me. Which is really good when you're going to get in the water with one. I studied biology at university, but I don't think it really matters whether or not you have formally studied sciences. When you come to a place like this, you just can't help but marvel at nature. You know, the way that these waves come in and crash against the rocks just to kind of carve it out and shape the rock shelf. The geomorphology. All of these shells in the rock, the amazing sea life, marine life out there in the water. we're so lucky to live, full stop, but to like live in this world where this stuff is still around. And you know, like one of my kids yesterday was picking up a shell they'd found underwater, and they were really keen to take this shell with them, but this is a national park. And so we said, no, you have to leave this here, because that's all part of the system. Because if we start taking something, everybody else starts taking something. And then suddenly this isn't protected in the same way. Even though that's a micro example, the environment starts to change. And we have to respect biology. We have to respect the system and nature. You know, we might force the system to malfunction a bit, like with climate change, but that's still the system. You know what I mean? The system will keep moving well after we're gone. Now, I was very honest when I was saying that out of all the places that we've been to around Australia in the last 10 months, this is the one where on the first night we rocked up and we were like, yep, this is it. This is literally the best part of Australia. And then on the second night, we realised that right here at Osprey Bay, there are a lot of mosquitoes, like a lot. My wife was sitting out. I shouldn't say this laughing because I'm very sympathetic. She's reading a book, and I came over and I was like, you realise you've got some mosquitoes on your leg? She's like, no. And there's like 6 mosquitoes all just in there having a feed just at the right time. Oh God. So it's funny, environment, biology, sometimes conspires to make what looks like the most paradisical place on earth. Yeah, maybe not. It's very close though, very, very close. It's like if this was somewhere and you couldn't go in the water because it was full of like deadly jellyfish, like other parts of Australia. I don't know, something that you can touch but can't hold. No, it's me. I love being able to observe nature. But the best part of Australia, you're gonna have to be able to hold it. So Osprey Bay, Cape Range National Park, you are very, very close to being the finest part of Australia. But not quite. We're gonna have to keep searching. Not a bad thing, is it? Anyway, get yourself out into nature. It's amazing. It's been awesome having a walk and having a chat. Whatever you're getting out to today, hope it's a good one, because it's a beautiful day, as always. I'll see you next time on The Morning Walk. I'm Malicki. Thanks for joining me.